All right, third quarter, third hour kicking off right now on this Friday morning, May 1st. We are on to a brand new month as we head into a new weekend here. Thanks for hanging out with us. We've got a little AJM Automotive Pump the Brakes Full Throttle coming your way here this hour. We're going to get to a little local sports roundup brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center here, too. We'll get back to some more baseball talk as we get set for Brewers versus the Nationals. Brewers have already faced the Nationals this year in Milwaukee. Hopefully, maybe a little bit of a revenge for the Brewers and such in a very tight NL Central. Let's kick off this hour with some cream of the crop, Brandon. Cream of the crop. Who gets your cream of the crop? Which mic are you on now?
Oh, that's right. I grabbed the wrong mic.
See, that was not my fault. I had you potted up. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Potted up? Is that the official term?
Potted up.
I'm all potted up?
Yep. Pod you up. Mm-hmm. It is.
All right. I think my cream of the crop, I'm just going to loop them all together. I'm going to go with both the Wild and the Timberwolves.
Okay.
Being able to close out series. I mean, look, that doesn't happen very often for Minnesota sports, and for them to be able to do it kind of back-to-back on the same night against, tough foes where you kind of had emotional series. A lot of stuff went into it. Just being able to kind of close them out at home, that's that's pretty impressive. I mean, obviously the Wild being able to maybe get rid of a few of those old North Star demons by taking down Dallas, and then obviously we knew all about the chirping that's been going on in the Timberwolves series with the Nuggets, but
yeah.
For them to be able to kind of close the way they did undermanned like that is impressive.
It is. Yeah, that's a good one. I think I'm going to go, since we are opening up a new month of May, and just kind of a little over a month and some change because where opening day landed, NL Central. Playing all across the board. I know the Pirates have fallen off a little bit, but they're still at 500. But every team in that division, 500 or above, yep, we want the Brewers to be higher, but it's been good baseball in that division, and I got to tip my cap to them for a little cream of the crop because you look at some other teams and such who like high-spending teams. That's the other part, too, is like you see these high-spending teams, Phillies, Mets,
Red
Sox, all those teams kind of down. So shout out to the NL Central right now.
Yeah, now we're going to really start seeing them play each other. I mean, the Brewers have played, one series in division?
Pirates.
That's a Pirates series. So, and that change is coming up here, obviously, but
big month of May too. With some
suddenly
tough
you
matches.
go from one series to a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So,
well, you throw in the Yankees in there, and then you throw in the Dodgers, right after the Cubs. So, should be a tough schedule coming up here, but a good schedule.
Hopefully, they're getting a little bit healthy for when it comes.
Right. Yep. So, all right, those are our cream of the crops. Do you want to do some local sports?
We can do that.
Up? Local Sports Roundup brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center. And, well, since you've got the baseball tab up there.
Yeah, we can start baseball.
Hudson's undefeated right now?
Correct. Hudson just picked up, they've won both their games this week over Chippewa Falls. Hudson's top-ranked team in the state in Division I. So they're unbeaten right now. I mean, I got a chance to see them on Tuesday when they beat Chippewa at Casper Park. And they're a wagon. They absolutely are a fantastic team and carrying over – from last year where they reached the Division I state tournament. A lot of those players are back, and just right now, just kind of taking on all comers, and so far, knocking down all comers. So, but they're definitely kind of the favorite in the big rivers. You got some other teams kind of hot on their heels. River Falls, Chippewa Falls still in that mix. New Richmond, who they split the conference championship with last year. So, but otherwise, kind of looking at the lay of the land. In the Western Clover Belt, it's a little bit of a different story. It's a lot more, I would say, balanced. I'm not sure you have that one contender. A good week, though, for Elk Mound. That's the new face in the conference this year. But they have been that's a program that's always been good when it comes to baseball, and that's definitely the case this year. They picked up the they picked up an 8-4 win over Stanley Boyd yesterday, so they're one of the teams at the top of the conference. Otherwise, you've got Fall Creek is up there in that mix. They knocked off McDonald yesterday. Fall Creek, being able to kind of stay in that, right in that mix with Elk Mound there. But otherwise, Regis and Cadott, they traded wins this week as well. Canot won on Tuesday, Regis won yesterday. So, that's a conference where, some of these teams still have yet to play each other. They within the last few years adopted kind of the Big Rivers way of doing it where you play Tuesday, Thursday of the same week. Just in the past, like softball, you'll kind of rotate. But that's in baseball, that's always a big thing too, just because obviously it doesn't allow you to kind of plan to, if you have one, really good pitcher, you can't just kind of lean on that one person for certain games. Like you really are, you're essentially kind of setting up a rotation, so to speak. So, but yeah, that's in the Western Clover Belt on the boys' side. So on the girls' side in the Big Rivers for softball, tied at the top of the conference now. Chippewa Falls defeated Eau Claire Memorial yesterday, and then New Richmond got knocked off by Hudson. So Chippewa Falls and New Richmond tied at the top of the conference, and they'll actually play next week. So we'll see if we get a little bit of a separation from either one of those teams next week. But those are two teams that have been right in that mix the last several years. It was a few years ago they were playing in the sectional championship game, so that's not too big of a surprise there. But that is that's certainly going to be a kind of a thing you got to keep an eye on. I'm sure we'll be talking about a little bit next week when we're in here talking. But in the Western Clover Belt for softball, you got McDonald with a 1-game lead up top against Stanley Boyd. They won the first meeting, but they got another meeting set up a little bit later on the year. McDonald knocked off Regis yesterday, 10-1. Bloomer fell to Stanley Boyd 6-4 in a competitive matchup. So, those two teams are kind of a little bit on a collision course, I guess, so to speak. So otherwise, you got Bloomer still in third place, Fall Creek right there, Cadott picking up some wins. So, we're kind of, now that we hit May, it kind of, all of these conference, title races kind of shift into overdrive a little bit. Mm-hmm. You can kind of see it, it's one thing when you say, oh, the playoffs are 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever way, but when it's in the same month, it kind of hits a little bit different. So, girls soccer, a relatively quiet night last night with only a couple games in the Big Rivers play, but you got Rice Lake, who's been really strong to start the year in River Falls. Of course, we know the Eau Claire Memorials and the Hudsons of the world are always going to be a contender near the top of the Big Rivers, and something to keep an eye on today and tomorrow. For UW Eau Claire, but also it's high school events as well. The Laurie Bedminster Memorial Tournament, which is going on here in Eau Claire. A couple different sites. I know McDonald Regis McDonald takes on Eau Claire North this afternoon. There's some high school games in there. There's some college games in there. It's a tournament that's still relatively young, but it's growing, and there's a lot of really good soccer. So if you like soccer and you're looking for to get out and go see some games, that's the place to go. Uh-huh. And that's going to be UW Eau Claire. I mentioned some are being held in North, I believe. So it's a couple different spots.
Okay. Is that golf?
Yeah,
that's
boys golf are still.
Conference tournaments is kind of a big one right now too, right?
We're still a little bit from that, but you got these conference meets that are kind of rolling along here, and I've talked about it before. But in the Western or in the Clover Belt, Bloomer kind of that team to beat right now. But really we're getting kind of closer to that for golf, because golf is usually one of the sports that kind of hits the postseason earlier than the others.
Right, and that's kind of what I was going to kind of go to here, because I was going to ask, when I used to play, I know this was the month where we were really wrapping up maybe some conference stuff and getting into the regionals and sectionals.
Right. Right. And that's a few weeks away yet. But still, there's only 4 weeks, so a couple weeks.
Graduation's like 3-4 weeks already.
So yeah, we're kind of starting to get down to it. So it's
okay.
And honestly, for golf, this has been weather-wise, even though it hasn't been like super warm a lot, this has probably been one of the better springs when it comes to knock on wood. Mm-hmm. Teams being able to kind of get out there and go. I know some teams had if they were going to be playing Monday, got washed out, but even if it's a little bit cool, we're golfers, we'll take that,
right,
as long as they're out there, especially this time of year. So
you got to walk, so
you might as well help you stay warm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, I'll move over to a little. Oh, first of all, before I move over to Blue Golds and Stout, I should mention too, even though it's fall sport, but Altoona does have their new head football coach. Mm-hmm. Is it Kellen Lager?
I believe so, yeah.
There was their defensive coordinator for the last few years, so taking over as head coach for the Altoona football program. So some continuity.
There you go. Yes, yeah. It's always nice when you can kind of get that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, let's go to the Blue Gold side of things for UW Eau Claire, because for baseball and softball, You want to talk about wrapping up and getting into conference play here. Their final regular season games are going on today, this weekend, baseball-wise for the Blue Gold baseball team. Doubleheader against River Falls. That's starting at noon today in River Falls, and then 3 o'clock, and then tomorrow at noon and 3 o'clock. And then they've got WIAC championships starting next week. Right now, the Blue Gold's looking to hopefully finish above 500. They're 19-17 right now on the season. So a very solid season for the Blue Goals, and they're 12-12 in conference play here too. So we'll see how they finish off the regular season. For Blue Gold softball, they're going to be wrapping up their regular season at home with a doubleheader tomorrow against Whitewater, and then they've got the WIAC tournament also next weekend. Blue Gold softball 28-10 on the season, 8-4 in conference play. So kind of hard to believe we're already getting to that point in time here too. So how about a little lacrosse? We've got WIAC championships going on this weekend. Track and fields for the Blue Golds and such. We've got coming up starting today and such, we've got WIAC championships for track and field. So that's going on here. And for golf, for women's golf, they're going to be at the UW Stout Spring Invite on Sunday to wrap up their regular season too. So elsewhere, we've got, I think that's about it for the Blue Golds. For Stout, though, coming up this weekend, I got to switch the calendar over to May here. Men's golf is going to be at Edgewood University's for this weekend. Baseball is going to be taking on Whitewater. So as they start to wrap up their regular season, Stout softball is going to be taking on lacrosse to wrap up their regular seasons. So, and then of course the women's golf team is going to be at their own spring invite on Sunday. So next week we should probably get some more conference matchups, conference tournament details and such when it gets to Division III and the WIAC portion too. So I guess to wrap it up, it's kind of local, but Jack Strand signing with the Atlanta Falcons, right?
Yes, undrafted free agent. He's going to go down there. It's either this weekend or next weekend. I don't think it was established when I talked with Jack, but so obviously some rookie mini camp stuff, and then the full team stuff kicks off a little bit later in May. But honestly, I mean, it's a team that shows much interest as anybody. I mean, he was there for a visit, and I think he's landing in a really good spot. When you factor in that, obviously we know Michael Penix Jr., the first-round pick a couple of years ago from the previous regime. They brought in Tua for a year. Mm-hmm. Those two are going to probably battle it out for the starters. Jack has a chance to be the number 3. I think the only other quarterback on the roster is Trevor Simeon, a veteran, but certainly someone that if he comes in, I think if Strand goes in there and kind of shows what he can do, I mean, the possibility of being the third quarterback is there, and especially with the new coach, Kevin Stefanski coming in there, so you're really kind of starting with almost like a blank slate.
Yeah.
So, but no, he was really excited for the opportunity. We know the Falcons got some real playmakers on offense. You're going to play for an offensive-minded head coach.
Yep.
In Stefanski, so.
It looks like it starts today. So I talked with him on Sunday. He wasn't sure yet, and so it was either going to be this week or next week. So that's good. I mean, he's down. I mean, sure, he's there already. Getting going. I mean, it really came together really quick because, I mean, it was like a couple minutes after the draft. Tom Pelissero from NFL Network had broke the news, and he said and when I talked with Jackie, he kind of mentioned once we got through the kind of the second half of the 7th round, he kind of figured, okay, maybe this, I'm not going to get drafted, but his agent was telling him he was in conversation, and I mean, it just. You hear stories like that where teams are calling these people.
You already kind of know.
Yeah.
And obviously they had showed the interest with him, flying down to Atlanta to take a pre-draft visit there and stuff. So he knew they were interested.
Right.
So no, that'll be very interesting. And I'm looking forward to it. Now I'm going to have to, I think this, once we get to the preseason, I might have to just try to find a way to go out of my way to find Falcons games to watch.
Right.
NFL Network.
Yep. Too bad because, well, we don't know, but hey, maybe they'll play Minnesota.
I looked this year in the regular season. Atlanta comes to Green Bay and Minnesota.
Okay, so they probably won't play them in the preseason then.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
I mean, it's happened before. Like last year, Minnesota played Philadelphia in the regular season, but probably not likely.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, unfortunately, but hey,
That would have been cool if they did play like Minnesota in the preseason, because then you know you're going to probably see him if he's on there.
Right. So, but preseason, schedule's coming out in a week or two, so we'll know.
Yep, exactly. So. But all right, good stuff. That is your local sports roundup, brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center. Let's take a quick break and let's play a little Pump the Brakes Full Throttle, brought to you by AJM Automotive. We'll be right back after these quick words. Road trip season is right around the corner. Are you and your vehicle ready to go the distance? Before you hit that highway, make sure that your vehicle is in top shape with the help from AJM Automotive. From oil changes and tire checks to brakes and engine work, their experienced team will make sure that you are ready for wherever the road takes you. And now with 2 convenient locations in Eau Claire, getting your vehicle serviced has never been easier. So plan a trip and AJM Automotive will handle the rest. Visit AJMAutomotiveServices.com to schedule your appointments. And let's play a little Pump the Brakes or Full Throttle, brought to you by AJM Automotive. I'll start off with the Brewers. If Brandon Woodruff does go on the injured list, Pump the Brakes Full Throttle, Logan Henderson should be the one that gets called up.
I'll say Full Throttle, just because I think, as good as Coleman Crow pitched in his first start, and he was awesome. I just think that Logan Henderson, there's a little bit more of a track record there, and I just think he would deserve that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm gonna say full throttle with that too. I think Logan Henderson, maybe for a lot of other teams, might already be on a major league roster,
right?
At this point. So yeah, I'd say full throttle without really looking at start wise, does it match up and all that sort of stuff. But Pump the Brakes Full Throttle. Cooper Pratt will be called up by the end of the month.
Ooh. I'll say Full Throttle, but I think it's at the end of the month. I think it's like Memorial Day.
I'm going to say Full Throttle, too. Do you think Jet Williams, how about piggyback off that?
I don't think they would both be called up and kind of take over the entire left side.
Okay.
I still think for now they may try to work it with Luis Rengifo and David Hamilton for a little longer.
Okay, yeah. At some point, Jet Williams, you think this year we'll see him?
If those two, if those struggle a little bit more, it's possible. But he's someone that you don't necessarily have to do it. Just because you can doesn't mean you have to. So I would say, I don't think they would take that big, all-in-one swing right at once.
Yeah, I feel like when the Jet Williams talks really died down. Ever since that trade, it was like, oh, okay, here's this guy. There's excitement, and Mets fans were like kind of bummed about. And haven't really heard a whole lot about him as of late here. And I know it's little quiet, Nashville, offensively, right?
Right.
And such. Maybe they're just trying to figure out what position he's going to play, at the upper level. So, all right, Pump the Brakes. Pump the Brakes Full Throttle. When Jackson Churio comes up, is he your everyday starting left fielder or center fielder?
That's not a pump.
I know. I didn't realize. Yeah.
I'm Full Throttle on him being in left field.
Okay.
I would take Garrett Mitchell.
Do you think, though, if it's the lefty-righty thing, then that's when Jackson Churio goes to center?
Maybe he's in, and then Lockridge maybe is playing for Mitchell. I think at this point, yeah, or maybe for whatever. But I think Lockridge is out there for one of the two lefties against lefty starters.
Yeah, because it really feels like, at least as of late, and I don't know if that's just because South Frelick did get off to a slow start, that Murphy is really playing that lefty-righty matchup. Because when we saw all the subs come in after that,
right? Which again, that'll happen. Where by the sixth inning, you're probably facing a righty anyway. But I also think that with Mitchell, he's someone that he's actually hit lefties pretty decently this year, and at some point you kind of got to reward them for being successful, and
like what they did with Terrain, right?
Right, and to, full transparency here. At some point, I think we probably just had enough of seeing Greg Jones.
Yeah,
no disrespect. He's a guy that's getting a kind of a second opportunity in the majors with the Brewers here, but it hasn't worked.
It's feels like Anthony Siegler to me from last year.
But he's I'm sure when he'll be around until Churio's back, and that'll be the move there. And then, I'm assuming when Vaughn's back that maybe Tyler Black is the guy that's sent down. But just because of a numbers game. But I like what I've seen out of Tyler Black so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's been his best kind of audition, so to speak, that he's had since he's been, from his couple different stints. So
right. Okay, I'm gonna kind of go with the wild card here because I know they already brought up Fitzpatrick after the Zerpa one, but. Pump the Brakes Full Throttle. Are we going to see Craig Yoho at all this year?
Well,
he just pitched yesterday. I know.
I'll pump the brakes for now because he was injured at the start of the year. He's on the 40-man, so if you're on the 40-man, that means you're always potential to get kind of plucked to come back up if someone gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll pump the brakes for now with that, just because I think the righties otherwise they've kind of got who they've got. So for now I'll pump the brakes, I think.
Yeah, that's another name you haven't really, and I know he was hurt and such, but you haven't really heard because this was a guy last year that a lot of people were talking about and that. So, but yeah, maybe just a little bit more reps down in Nashville.
I think he's just one of those guys they may not have to rush.
Mm-hmm. Pump the brakes, full throttle. Craig Counsell has dropped down more in your standings after he apparently is a Malort. I can't read the article because it's paywall blocked, but there's a new one out there from The Athletic that says Malort enthusiast, Craig Counsell.
It's funny because if you didn't bring this up, I was going to try to find a way to bring it up as well in the form of a question. Pump the brakes. Malort's nasty.
It is.
It's terrible.
Well, you mean full throttle then? Because I was going to say, that's...
Okay, then full throttle.
Goes down.
It's terrible. Like, come on, man. I'm probably willing to give you more of the benefit of the doubt than most Brewers enthusiasts, but not if you're drinking Malort, man. Like
yucky. For those who have never, if you're too young, it's yucky.
It's gross.
It's gross.
It's gross.
How do you become a Malort enthusiast?
You gotta be a masochist, I think.
Oh man, because I screenshot that to you yesterday.
Well, yeah, you texted me. I think I just responded with you.
Yeah,
but. To me, it's like, I think, maybe if you're not from here, like, people are like, oh, blackberry brandy. It's like, oh, come on, it's not even the same.
No.
It's not even the same.
No.
Like,
no.
You will put some respect on the Polish blackberry, the LaRue.
Cough medicine.
Yezhinovka.
Yeah.
You'll put some respect.
Look at you.
You will put some respect.
You are a Lublin guy.
I've said that name. I've said that name a lot over the years. But you will put some respect on that name.
Yeah.
That's why, obviously I don't really drink so much of it anymore. When I was younger, if I were at a bar, I would ask, what kind do you have?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's Phillips, no thanks. That's
just because you're talking about that, I'll say it for the pod, but that reminds me of a former ball player that with Blackberry. I'll say it for the pod, but
okay, yeah.
Anybody who probably played with Andy Sandelier.
Oh yes,
Sandelier. Oh, there was a night with me and him. Oh. I'll save it. But for the pod story with that, so let's just say it was my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Oh man, but pump the brakes. Moving on, pump the brakes, full throttle. With the I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Zach says that stuff is disgusting.
So, Lord,
yeah, it's pump the brakes, full throttle. If the Mets will be the next organization to fire their manager.
I'm gonna say full throttle at this point.
It's turning a little hockey-ish with managers getting fired like the first month of the season.
Well, and then you see the rumor about how the Phillies were maybe interested in Alex Cora.
Dabrowski said he called him.
Yeah, and he
offered it to him.
Yeah, he just wasn't interested right now.
While they still had their manager.
Well, that's the thing about hockey. It just seems like it's the same 36 coaches that float around.
Right.
32 teams.
Right. And that was actually going to be my next thing that I was going to add. Pump the brakes, full throttle. That's kind of Bush League from Dabrowski to.
Kind of.
While Jeff is
throttle,
still.
Yeah, that's.
I appreciate the honesty from him, but it's like, dude, you still kind of, and your manager.
Wait, who would ever reach around? Who would ever sniff around about a potential job when someone else was still employed at that position? I don't know who would ever think about doing that.
Right, man, weird, right? But at least, Phillies have Don Mattingly, which is now the interim manager. He's obviously very experienced and all that, so it's not a bad move. It's and all that, but I don't know, man. If you're David Stearns and you're the Mets, I don't know how new this is. I saw it this morning in a clip, but Jonathan Lucroy was on a podcast, and he was talking about when he got traded to the Brewers. Again, I don't know how old this is, but
you mean from the Brewers?
Or from the Brewers? I'm sorry. Yeah. How David Stearns kind of did him dirty, and it was when we knew he was probably going to get traded,
he was going
right?
to get dealt.
And he was asked for his like no trade teams or the teams that he'd go to or something like that. So he submitted it, and then like David Stearns had called him in and said that he had been traded. He had been traded to a World Series contending team, and Lucroy asked him, "Well, who?" And Stearns went, "Tell him." And he said, I'm going to find out in like 3 minutes when I leave this room. And
why can't you just say it?
Yeah. And so he called Gabe Kapler because at that time Gabe Kapler was with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And he wanted to find out, like, hey, is it, he's like, no, we tried, but, and he called his agent then. Weird that he called Gabe Kapler first.
For his agent, yeah.
And I'm summarizing all this, and his agent said it was Cleveland, and Cleveland wasn't on that list that Jonathan Lucroy gave him.
Yeah, because then remember that was next.
Yep, and then that he's like, so that forced him, because then they released the story, then got dropped, so then that forced Jonathan Lucroy to nix it publicly and that sort of thing. So I was like, ooh, that is kind of
juicy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, so I don't know how old that is. It popped up on my feed this morning when I was going through some stuff.
That's
I'm like,
interesting.
It is. So, but yeah, and then I kind of want to maybe listen to that a little bit more and such. But yeah, if I'm David Stearns, I'm feeling some sweat, right?
Yeah,
you got to be feeling.
Yeah, because the interesting thing too is, like honestly, it probably worked out a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just trying to remember off the top of my head, like the return for the Cleveland trade, like wasn't great,
right?
But then getting packaged to go to to the Rangers, and ultimately, I think it was a better thing.
Who did they get from the Rangers again?
That's what I'm actually trying to look and see, just so I can.
Yeah,
I just remember the Pirates return, or the Pirates. I thought about the Pirates. The Cleveland return wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
It was Lewis Brinson, who, as we know, was a big piece in getting Christian Yelich.
Yeah.
Luis Ortiz, player to be named later, was ultimately Ryan Cordell, who didn't really turn into anything. But, yeah, I mean, the biggest piece there was Lewis Brinson.
Mm-hmm.
And, and again, he didn't really do much with the Brewers, but he helped them get Christian Yelich, so it was a win.
Yep. Pump the brakes, full throttle. You're good with the NCAA expanding to 76 teams.
Pump the brakes. We don't need it. Who asked for it?
Right.
I have yet to hear any fans that actually asked for it.
Fans don't matter, though, Brandon.
Well, and that's it. Like, we know why they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Money. And that's annoying.
Yep.
Like, I think it was Dan Patrick. They had mentioned earlier this week, like, so now are the coaches of the 77th team going to still complain because they didn't? The answer is, of course,
yes. It's going to happen.
I've seen people like, well, maybe you'll kind of cut down on something. Like, no, you won't. Because whoever the first team out, no matter if you have 4 teams or 400 teams, is still going to complain.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I mentioned this week, too. It was like, it doesn't matter how many teams you add if the goal is to, like, get those fringe teams in, because then you're just going to have more fringe teams.
Now, are we going to get some second teams from some mid-major conferences, or is this done so we can get 500 Auburn into the tournament?
Bingo. Yep. That we know that answer, right?
We do.
Yep.
No, it's frustrating.
And the thing
and
is,
it may or may not be on my Festivus list.
Ooh, all right, early tease. We're not quite to the halfway mark.
It is. I'll tell you that right now.
Did you already put it in your phone notes?
Oh yeah, I have 2 things on there. But yeah, it's I put it on there the second I saw that.
All right.
Nobody asked for this.
Nobody did, except for maybe some schools.
Yeah, no fans asked for this.
Yeah. Fans don't matter though, Brandon. That's the thing. So. All right, that's right. Pump the brakes, full throttle. Brought to you by AJM Automotive. We got to take a quick break, but we'll be back with plenty more coming up after these quick words. 3-day protein sale going on right now at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. You want to get some protein? Now is the chance to take. Take a chance of this opportunity here. You got 99-cent eggs going on at Hy-Vee. We've got 2 for $6. Fresh ground chuck patties, fresh ground beef. 80% lean, 20% fat, just $3.99 for a 16-ounce roll. We're talking 55 cents. Avocados. There's marinated, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. We've got $1.88 cottage cheese over there. Big cottage cheese person in our household, as always, you can check out Hy-Vee and Eau Claire on their Facebook page to check out their flyer over there. Or 2 for $6 of the Popeyes, the Marie Callender's Popeyes, too. So those are always a easy meal there, too. So I know we got to take another break here before the top, but before we get to that, and Surveyor, we'll get to your trivia question here. We'll maybe do that right after 9. But first, I've gotten to really chat with you. Anything stand out to you from the draft? Anything surprise you? Maybe it was your pick, your Vikings, or
I mean, we talked about the Caleb Banks pick, but otherwise, I mean, I was fine with the rest of the draft. I mean, it kind of made sense. I mean, obviously, I think there's going to be certain kind of connections that we're going to see how they play out. You know, I mentioned the Caleb Banks, Dylan Thieneman thing. Mm-hmm. Obviously, now we're going to probably be looking at the Chris McClellan, Dominique Orange thing.
Yeah.
So just to kind of see how those two work.
Yep.
You know, but I mean, no. I mean, it was pretty standard, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything like oh my gosh, sort of after the first round since we last talked.
Right. I mean, obviously the big thing on the Vikings would be the Jonathan Grenard trade. So going to Philly, which
this was. I guess I never got the chance to really ask you about that because that happened on Friday.
Right.
So.
I mean, it was one of those things that was kind of talked about beforehand. I didn't think it was going to happen, but I mean, you know, and we see he signs the new contract. I mean, I kind of thought $25 million for him was fine, but obviously they did not. And look, they spent a first round pick a couple years ago on Dallas Turner, and that's kind of the spot he was going to play. So if you got a first rounder, you got to kind of make a runway for them to play, you know, start at some point. So and now, you know, that opens up some cash, and we'll see if maybe Juwan Jennings visited this week, maybe a third receiver. Kind of veteran kind of comes in the mix, so we'll kind of see where that money goes.
Right. Yeah. So I kind of call this the veteran free agency now with maybe some guys.
Yeah, we got Calais Campbell coming back for another year.
Yeah, Baltimore going back to Baltimore. Yeah. For him. So I was kind of hoping that was going to be a Green Bay pick.
I kind of was hoping that was going to be Minnesota. He can with all the young guys, but.
Mm-hmm. But hey, he's going back to Baltimore, so
still a good player.
He is. He was in the same draft class as Matt Ryan.
Right.
That
was kind of the thing too when it was Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah.
Where it was like people were, and he would keep popping up as like the people that he was in the draft class with, like that's.
Yeah. And honestly, Mercedes Lewis might still play at some point this year.
He might. I mean, he can still block.
Yep. That just tells you how much those guys. I don't know if it's part genetics, just how they can take care of themselves, but to be able to play football still at a
right. Like, I mean, those guys. I mean, those are guys in the trenches. Every single play are getting physical.
Yeah. Yeah.
No offense, it's not like a kicker or punter.
No. But yeah. It's like. I mean, I think for me, again, just for Green Bay, the fact that they only ended up with 6, was a little surprising. But hey, there's a guy that you want. Got to make the move.
Right.
And they did. And one of them was for a kicker.
Yeah, a kicker named Smack.
Yeah. I hope there's no bad puns during the season because of maybe bad performances and such. But
people wouldn't do that.
Oh, no, not in the internet world. They would never do that, Brandon. Absolutely not. But, yeah, we got Packers minicamp, or rookie minicamp, just a couple days starting today and tomorrow. So don't buy jerseys yet, people. Just stop. Don't buy rookie jerseys yet.
Right.
Just in case. Okay? Just don't. If you want a Smack jersey, I don't even know if they got it on the Pro Shop, don't get it custom made. Because he's wearing like 20-something. If he makes a team, which he probably will, it's probably going to be different. Just don't buy a rookie jersey. Okay? Look at the Matthew Golden thing that happened last year. Don't do that. All right? Just wait. There's your public service announcement.
PSA.
For in case you get a little excited for a rookie and that. But yeah. Well, when's your Vikings? Is it this weekend too?
I don't remember offhand.
Okay. How do you not know?
How do I not know? I don't know.
Man, what a fan are you?
I know. I don't know when rookie mini camps are.
It is next week.
Okay.
I think. Wait, no. Was this? You already got images? Oh, this is from last year. So Google didn't tell me right away. It says it's usually around May 8th through the 9th.
Okay,
so
Google.
That's next week, a week from today. But all right. So do we want to try surveyors? Do you want to do it right now? We got time.
We got a little time. No, we got to take another break.
We do. Do you want to do it after the break here?
Yeah, we can talk during the break.
Okay. Because I'll be honest, I'm going to rely on you more. Okay. I can think of like 2 teams. I hope we don't have to think of years because then I'm just done. I'm not.
Well, he said, there won't necessarily be years.
Yeah, he just said.
Because he said the 7 teams that have never won 100 games.
Oh, yeah. I was, okay. See, now I got it. Yeah. I was thinking of, for whatever reason, the 7 teams to get over 100 wins.
Oh, no.
But I know I don't know why I had that in my head. I'm glad you did that. Okay. I'm less freaked out now. So, all right, quick break. We'll be right back to wrap up the third quarter after these quick words. Mark your calendars for Barbecue Fest coming to the Northern Wisconsin State Fairgrounds May 15th through the 16th. I'm going to be there on the 16th for a couple hours with our good friends from Mike's Star Market right here in Eau Claire. So want to stop by, maybe try some tasty foods. They've got the cornhole tournament, vendors, live music, all that good stuff. You can just head to nwsfa.com for schedule of events and more info. But, we'll be over there Saturday for a little bit with our good friends from Mike's Star Market participating. And they're also partners with Barbecue Fest with the People's Choice Awards, too. So should be a lot of fun. Nothing like a bunch of grills and smokers going.
It's going to smell fantastic.
Hungry. Yep, exactly. So you may even smell from where your place is at.
I might.
So, but all right, we're going to try this surveyor question. So again, it was the 7 teams to have never won 100 games before
in Major League Baseball.
And as you noted during the break, the easy one is the Brewers, since they
set the record last year, and it wasn't 100. So
Brewers,
because we only actually came to the conclusion of 5, so we're going to have 2 others we decide on air here. But
yeah,
otherwise we said Rockies, Marlins, Expos / Nationals.
Yep.
And I think we kind of decided on the Twins.
Yep.
So we got 2 others.
Did the Diamondbacks ever win 100 in that one year with the 01 World Series? Was it the 01 with the Yankees?
They were. Well, my fears might. I'm going to say I think they might have. My thinking was they were the higher seed then.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Okay.
Because Game 7 was at home.
Yeah.
So they had to be the higher seed. So I'm going to say I think they did.
Okay. The one that we keep going back and forth is White Sox, and I just get nervous with the really early White
old
Sox
ones. Yeah, I still think I would say White Sox.
What about Royals?
Yeah, Royals. That's
Put
a good
Royals
one.
in there?
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll add Royals.
So that's 6. Braves did.
Yeah, Braves did. And all those other AL East teams besides the Marlins, which we already said, I think did.
Yep.
So
we're at 6.
I feel like the Rays did one year too.
Maybe like the Joe Madden era Rays?
I think so. I mean, they were just so good. It would not be crazy to think that they went 101 and 61 one year.
Yeah. We know the Mariners did.
Yeah. I think the A's did. I mean, they had so many. They had a couple different like big primes. I feel like one year they had to have.
Yeah.
Rangers, I feel like did.
Astros. Red Sox, we know.
Yankees, we know.
Mets.
Yeah. Like.
I'm trying to go through the.
I think we said like Orioles. We talked about like. Should we just say Orioles? Let's just say Orioles for the sake of it. Okay, so that's our 7 surveyor.
Yeah, so text over the answers because obviously
Brewers, Rockies, Marlins, Expos / Nationals, Twins, Royals, Orioles.
I feel confident about 5.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Yeah, the first ones especially.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be one that's going to surprise us for sure. I feel like there's a tricky one on here. Like a team that we thought was for sure 100 wins and maybe not. There's going to be a team with like 99. You know that.
Oh, yes.
I hope Surveyor still listens so he can actually text us.
I mean, otherwise we can just look it up ourselves, but we need Surveyor to do it for us.
Oh, we were off, man.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Toronto.
Okay. Wow.
85, they won 99. Padres, 98, they won 98. Nationals, 2012, 98. Brewers. Rangers were on here.
They were? Okay.
Yep. 2011 is the most they had, 96. Marlins and Rockies. So we got the Royals wrong.
So the first 4 that we did, the first 4 we said were the ones that were right. So, I mean, once we got to the last 3, we were kind of guessing a little bit. So
So what year most wins in Twins history in a season? What year was that?
Was it maybe 87 or 91?
65.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
The Minnesota Twins record for most wins is 102, achieved by the 65 team. The 19 team actually has 101.
Oh, yeah.
So, darn it.
Yeah.
We stink on that one.
Yeah. 4-7's not great.
So, the Washington Senators, would that still they have 99 wins. So, would that still be like the National? Where's that? Yeah. Gosh, now we're going down a deep rabbit hole here. So, okay. Well, Royals, now I'm what year did they win? Would have been a Kirk Gibson. Not Kirk Gibson. What was that?
George Brett?
George Brett. Well, I get those two switched up sometimes.
Why?
I have no idea. I think I just have Kirk Gibson on my mind because of those softball videos. You know who I'm talking about? The guy that does Royals most wins in a season. It was 1977. They had 102.
Okay.
So, okay. Oh, Brett Saberhagen. Oh, no, not that year, but it just says Brett Saberhagen, 1989, most wins, 23. So.
I thought it was just out of nowhere, just on your screen, just said Brett Saberhagen.
No,
context.
Sorry. But, all right, well, we tried. Yeah. That's the best we can do. So,
yeah.
Okay. Shot clock's going to cut us off, so we got one more hour. And then we'll get back to some more baseball talk coming up in the final hour here. So, Brewers getting sets for their series against the Nationals. The Miz kid looking for his first win since opening day. That's the last time he's gotten a win this year. So
it hasn't been for a lack of pitching well.
No. So, but we'll get back to more baseball talk and a bunch of other fun stuff before we get to the podcast, which I'm really looking forward to.
This is one we've been talking about for a while.
Yep. Move slow pitch softball as we get set for. Well, it's that time of year if anybody still plays.
I hope so.
If
you do, I want to hear it.
I do know of a couple teams I see once in a while on Facebook. The youngsters still going out there.
Good. I'm glad to hear the youngsters are doing it.
I'll save it for the pod in real detail, but man, I don't even know if there's like these certain websites I would used to go on for softball all the time. I don't even think it's the same. This isn't the same. No.
Softballweekendwarrior.edu.
You mentioned Weekend Warrior. I'll bring that up coming up in the next hour. I got an idea for a Weekend Warrior thing. I'll throw it out there. So, but all right, shot clock's going to cut us off in a minute. If you are a former softball player, we're just looking for what was your favorite tournament, so we can include it on our pod. Or if you got a favorite memory, or maybe even a story that we can appropriately share. C-Bomb. We've got to hear the story of your MVP at state tournament. Come on now, Chadwick C-Bomb. Gotta hear that. But, all right. We'll take that news update here, and then we'll open it up talking some Brewers here as we get set for this national series. The Miz Kid, we've got Harrison on the mound also going, and then Chad Patrick. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about Brandon Woodruff, Jackson Cheerio, Andrew Vaughn, all that good stuff. Quick break, and we'll be right back after these news updates.